What's up guys? So today I'm going to be installing more quick latches on my bumper so the entire front bumper is quick detachable. I already made a video showing the install of these latches on the side of the bumper. So if you didn't see that video, here's a quick recap. I have them installed right under my fender, and these work by pushing in the center and they pop out. And there is a stainless steel stud behind them. So that's how they work. They're very easy to use. They're pretty simple to install. If you didn't see that video, I'll post a link in the video so you could check that out. I highly recommend these. These are a great option if you are looking to make your bumper quick detachable, or if you have an issue where your bumper is popping off and stuff like that. So I will post to that video so you could check out the install on the sides. However, in this video, I'm going to be replacing these clips here. So I'm supposed to have clips all across the top. I don't have the clips in the sides because they actually tie into my headlight, and I found that that bracket is pretty weak and brittle and it tends to break off. Doesn't really matter because I don't need them, but I will be replacing these 4 clips here with quick latches. Here's all my quick latch hardware right here. I have 4 latches and 4 of these cups. They are called mini buckets, and they are meant to be used with these latches so that if you are using them as I am in this video, they will actually sit flush, and it allows you to mount this stud further back. So I'll show you that more in depth when I actually do the install. It's kind of hard to explain without actually showing you guys, but first thing I need to do is remove this bumper. So if you've ever dealt with these push clips, you know that they suck. You have to stick a screwdriver in, you pop them up about 1/4 inch, and if it's not exactly right, then it expands again and it's very hard to get out, which sucks. So I'm gonna deal with this when I have 2 hands and I'm not holding a camera, but I have 4 of these clips to remove. And then I have these other style of clips that aren't push clips. They just kind of pop in there, and those are a pain in the ass to get out. That's why I'm missing so many of them, because they all break. And in addition to that, I have to remove this front grill. And then behind there, I actually have another clip, if you could see it. It's another push style, just like these ones. So that is why I hate removing my bumper. It's a huge pain in the ass. Once I install these quick latches, I won't have to remove any of these grills or anything like that. I will literally push 6 buttons total to remove my bumper, and it should take about 10 seconds. So I'm going to kind of time this removing the bumper, and then after I have my quick latches installed, I'll time myself again installing it and removing it. So I'm very excited to do this install. It's going to be a little bit intense, I think. There's going to be a few things that I have to modify and cut, but it shouldn't be too bad. So I hope you enjoy this video. So as you can see, removing my front bumper is a huge pain in the ass because of the plastic clips that the factory uses. Every time I remove my bumper, I either break some of those clips or I break part of my grill, and that definitely sucks. So I'm very excited because Quick Latch is going to solve that issue, and I won't have to deal with any of that crap anymore. So with that being said, I have access now to these 4 holes here, 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 and here, which is where I'm going to mount these quick latches. So these aluminum cups that I have actually are threaded in the bottom, and they will mount directly underneath these holes, and they allow this entire assembly to be set back properly so that it fits correctly, which I'll show once I actually install it. I will need to modify these brackets a little bit because, as you can tell, there is a small lip, which means that this cup here is not going to sit even and flush. So I'll probably have to bend out this lip a little bit so that I can set it flush. Once I do that, I will have to line it up so that this hole aligns with that hole, and then I'll drill out these 2 holes for the side for the rivets. So after I do that, I have to make sure that everything is aligned, and then I'll drill a bigger hole in the top of this bracket to accommodate this black piece here, because as you can see, it's threaded and it's much bigger, and it has a locking nut. So this black top here will actually attach to my bumper, but it will need to fit down through that hole so that it sits flush. And I know that is very hard to follow with me just explaining it. I'll have to show you guys exactly what I'm doing, but that's basically the rundown of it. So if you have a car that's different than mine, it's probably going to be very similar, you know, even if the brackets look slightly different or something like that. the two plastic clips on the sides, which would be in here and over here. I'm not using those anymore. They're really not necessary, and I do take off my bumper periodically, not a whole lot, but at least once a year or so. So I don't really need those anymore. These quick latches will be strong enough to hold my bumper in place. Alright guys, so I've been at this for about 20 minutes or so, and I am almost halfway done. Not quite. I have 2 of these latches installed on my car. I have 2 more to install on the passenger side, and I also have all of the latches. These black pieces here are what is actually going to get attached to my bumper, which is sitting over there. But this is going to take like 2 minutes per latch to do this to my bumper. I'm basically just going to make a bigger hole and slide this on, and there's a locking nut on the back of this which I need to tighten down. But as you can see, it's very easy to install these. It's not taking any time at all. But in case you guys couldn't see exactly what's going on in the video, I figured I'd take a quick break and explain it. So I have my bracket here, which I ended up flattening out a little bit just so that these cups mount flush. And as you can see, they are also riveted in place with 1/8 inch rivets. 3mm by 3mm is what I'm using, and that's enough to pinch this cup and the bracket. So the stud actually threads into the cup. As I said, it's threaded in the bottom, and I will use nuts to lock it in place once I have the height set properly. But the height is completely adjustable by threading this in and out. So this is something that I will have to adjust once I actually get my bumper back on the car. But I will set the height to where it needs to be and make sure everything sits flush. And then I will use those nuts to lock all of these studs in place. So I just wanted to say this is a very easy install. A lot of times when you're doing something like this and it needs some custom fabrication, it's usually a pain in the ass and it's hard to deal with. But I cannot recommend Quik-Latches enough. I absolutely love them, and they are super easy to install. I want to make it clear, I am not sponsored by Quik-Latch. All of these products I got by myself. I paid full retail price for them. So if you want to check them out, I'll drop a link in the description down below. But I just wanted to put it out there that I'm not sponsored by them, and I'm not just blowing sunshine up your you-know-what. So with that being said, I'm going to continue filming the rest of this install. But as you see, it's going to be very easy. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. So now that I have those studs and the mounting cups mounted to that bracket, I need to install these latches to my bumper. And to do that, I need to drill out these 4 holes, here, 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 and here. And I'm going to make them bigger to the same diameter as this black latch. It's going to pass through, and the silver locking nut is going to hold it in place. All right guys, so I had a small hiccup in this process, and it's not really a big deal. It's something that I didn't really plan for, but these holes here are not big enough for the latch themselves. The latch fits exactly through that hole, however the locking nut does not. So what I had to do is modify this bracket further, and I had to drill out these two rivets, remove this cup, and I used a body saw, which I have right over here, and I cut in 2 notches, and then I broke off the tab so that I have this nice notch so that whenever this cup mounts in place, I have that much more room. So as you can see, I have a lot more space in this cup versus these ones where I had these holes. So it's not really a big deal. It's just something extra that I didn't realize that I had to account for. I wasn't thinking about it. So I'll have to do the same thing to these other 3 latches. I'll drill out the rivets, cut out the notches, and then replace them. All right guys, so I have everything reinstalled. I would set aside at least an hour to do this. It took me closer to 2 hours because I had to go back and drill out all those cups and remount them after I notched out the bracket like I should have done in the first place. But if this is your first time, I would set aside at least 1 to 2 hours, but it's really not that bad of an install. So I am about to put my bumper back on. I already adjusted the studs for the height so everything fits, and I test fitted my bumper. So we are good to go. And as you can see on my bumper, I already put the plastic grills, those grill pieces back on because I won't have to remove them to install or uninstall my bumper anymore. So I'm gonna set you guys down in a second and we'll see how fast this takes. Alright guys, that's all I have for this video. Again, if you're interested in Quik-Latch, check out the description down below. I'll have links to their website and their products there. But I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something, and I'll catch you guys next time.